What's good, everyone? This is V, and I'm about to tell you guys about the flaws of physics. Okay, one major problem with physics is within the mathematics. So, what do I mean by that? Well, a major flaw in physics is having to do with multiplication. Multiplication is a function of repeated addition, right? So, if you're not familiar with that, let me show you what ChatGPT says about that.
Yes, multiplication can be viewed as a repeated addition. For instance, multiplying 3 by 4, 3 times 4, is the same as adding 3 4 times. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 12. This principle applies to whole numbers and can be extended to other numbers through more complex operations. But at its core, multiplication is fundamentally connected to addition.
Okay, so that being said, multiplication is a function of addition, right? And then with addition, if you want it to make any reasonable sense in physics, you can only add things that have similar values, or excuse me, you can only add values that have similar units. Otherwise, it would be meaningless. Like you can only add like meters to meters or seconds to seconds, but you can't add meters to seconds. And if you're not familiar with that, I'll show you what ChatGPT says about that.
Yes, in physics, for addition or subtraction to be meaningful, the quantities must have the same units. For example, you can add two lengths measured in meters, but you cannot directly add a length measured in meters to a time measured in seconds. The units must match for the operation to be valid and physically meaningful.
Okay, so we've established that multiplication is a function of addition. Addition requires similar units, right? So here's an example. 4 meters times 3, right? Now notice how the first term can have units, but the second term, 3, is just a pure number, because the reason is because that 3 is just telling you how many times to add the 4 meters to itself. So it's just a number. It's not a united value. So 4 meters times 3 is 4 meters plus 4 meters plus 4 meters, which equals 12 meters, right? And then also you can even break it down even further and say that 4 meters is actually 4 times meters, right? Where 4 is the non-united value telling you how many iterations to add meters to itself. So 4 times meters is 1 meter plus 1 meter plus 1 meter plus 1 meter, which equals 4 meters. Okay? And then you can take that 4 meters and then times that by 3. So the 4 meters has units, but the 3 is, again, how many iterations you do. So it's just a pure number. So 4 meters times 3 is just 4 meters plus 4 meters plus 4 meters equals 12 meters. Okay? So with that being said, right, let's look at what problems we run into with physics. Okay, I think if you learned anything about physics, you might be familiar with F equals ma, force equals mass times acceleration, right? Okay, force is in newtons, which is some made up unit, right, which makes no sense. Mass is in kilograms, and acceleration is in meters per second per second. Okay, so F equals m times a. There's a huge problem there because a has units when it's not supposed to. You cannot have a united value as the multiplier because it's only supposed to be a pure number, because it just defines how many iterations we add the other value to itself. So if you want it mapped out mathematically, it's m times a is equal to the summation from I equals 0 to a of mi. And then m0 is just 0, but m1 is m. And then you add m, all the way till you have a times. So you add m to itself a times. But the problem here is that a has units and it's not supposed to. And like we had established before, in order to add things, you have to have the same units. So you can't just multiply kilograms by meters per second, because of the fact that the units don't match. An easier way, so in order to summarize what I'm saying, is an easier way to think about it is, okay, what are 3 kiwis times 4 apples? Is it 12 kiwi times apples? Well, what are kiwi times apples? There's nothing in reality. There's no such thing as a kiwi times apple in reality. So just as this is invalid because kiwi times apples don't exist, then for that same logic, F times ma is not valid either. Now, imagine how much of physics is now destroyed by just this concept right here. Physics tried to intermingle itself with mathematics, and mathematics has sound logic behind it. You know, the reason all multiplications in mathematics work out is because they're all numbers. They're all pure numbers. You know, a number times a number, so they all have the same unit technically. So that's why in mathematics it works. But physics just tried to throw itself in there, thinking that, oh, look, math does this. Let's just get on board with that and just, you know, carry our units in with it and just make up units for what a kilogram times a meter per second is. Or we'll call that a Newton. That's not anything. It's not anything in reality. That's just as much an unreal factor as a kiwi times apple. You know? So we have to go back and we have to reevaluate the entire physics because it's all wrong. It's all wrong. So until the people are, you know, keen to this, we're going to keep going down the wrong physics, you know, and keep taking it further and further and further and realize what garbage we've run into.